Hello everyone, welcome to GATE Academy and Unacademy. So hope all are doing well. So I am discussing about the syllabus and important topics covered in GATE examination for strength of material subject. So in strength of material, different types of concepts will be covered in pen drive, G drive, BOD and tablet users. Okay, so strength of material for civil and mechanical engineering aspirants. So here video lecture information or video lecture tables are given. So which topics, which lectures are covered in effective or optimum times are given in these tables. Okay. So first of all, chapter 1 introduction to strength of material. So here lecture name are given. So chapter 1 is introduction to strength of material. So lecture 1 is introduction to strength of material, that is covered in 59 minute 4 second. Okay. Next one, lecture 2 importance for of SOM in mechanical and civil engineering aspirants, that is covered in 20 minute 17 second. Okay. Next, equilibrium of solid bodies, that is covered in 30 minute 12 second. So more than topics are covered in different approaches and with optimum times. Okay, so external forces part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. So external forces are considered in 4 parts, that is 30 minute, 25 minute, 58 minute and 29 minute respectively. Clear that point? And next one is equilibrium and equations of static conditions, types of supports like simply supported beam, cantilever beam, okay, and many more supports are analysis, that is part 1, that is nothing but 1 hour 8 minutes 7 seconds. So all these concepts with stresses and effect of forces, type of stresses, representation of stresses, general state of stress, stress tensor. So here stress tensor is important for transformation of stress. That's why this concept is covered in chapter number 1, so that you can clear your concept. After that, you can clear transformation of stress with respect to stress tensor, that is covered in 38 minutes. Okay, clear that point? Because of stress is nothing but stress is a tensor quantity, not a scalar or vector quantity. So why this one is scalar quantity, not scalar quantity or not vector quantity? What is the physical significance of tensor or stress tensor? That is analyzed in 38 minute 26 second. Okay, so what is strength? What is strength? Longitudinal strength, transverse strength, all these concepts are covered in 30 minute 11 second. Shear strength, strength tensor is covered in 34 minute 14 second. Next, workbook questions 1 to 4, that is covered in 9 minute 15 second. Okay, next chapter 2. So in chapter 2, axial loading. So axial loading concepts are covered in very good manners. That is very effective for GATE examination. So axial loading concepts like lecture 1, what is axial loading and how to apply in any prismatic or non-prismatic members. Next, shear stress and strength, bearing stress and bulk stress, Hooke's law, that is very important for GATE examination. Elastic modulus, physical significance of elastic modulus, change in length of bar, and workbook problem 1 to 4, that is covered in very good manners. Okay, fine. Next one is Poisson's ratio. What is Poisson's ratio and what is the Poisson's ratio for different types of materials? What is the elastic constant and what is the relation between elastic constants? Generalized Hooke's law and members in series, that is covered in different parts. Next, axial load distribution diagram, superposition theorem, and member in parallel static indeterminate member. Then after that, workbook questions are solved. Next one is problem with axial distributed load stress strain diagram. So stress strain diagram is very important for GATE examination, as numerical as well as theoretical point of view. Okay. Next one is mechanical properties part 1, mechanical properties part 2, and after that workbook questions. So many problems are covered in chapter number 2 in axial loaded members. Clear that point? Okay. So in axial loaded member, that is normal stress and normal strain. Clear that point? And additional part of this one is thermal stress. So chapter 2, that is nothing but axial loaded, or it is also called normal stress and normal strain. So in addition, the concept of thermal stress and strain are covered in chapter 3, so that you can easily understand what is the difference between normal stress and normal strain and thermal stresses. Okay, in any bars. So in thermal stresses and strain, lecture 1, thermal stress and strain basic concept are covered in lecture 1, that is 36 minute 47 second. And next one is member in series and parallel. So member is series and parallel, so that total 4 types of cases are there. First one is two bars are connected along the length rigidly, are subjected to increase in temperature. Case number 2, two bar connected along the length rigidly, are subjected to decrease in temperature. And next, third and fourth case, that is nothing but two bar are connected and to end are fixed, are subjected to increase in temperature. And last 4 cases is nothing but two bar connected and to end are fixed and decrease in temperature. So total 4 types of cases are there in series and parallel connection. And this topic is very important for GATE examination. So upcoming GATE exam, you can see this one is asked in examination. So 2 marks questions are asked in every years. So numerical problems are there in GATE examination. Remember in series and parallel connection. So don't miss this topic in GATE examination. See carefully. So if you are confused about the concept of member in parallel and series connection, then you can directly go to chapter 3rd, lecture number 2, and watch this video. And watch this video. This one is 21 minute 1 second, and clear your concept. And after watching this video, you can solve problems, workbook problems, so that your concept is also theoretical as well as numericals also are clear that. Okay. Okay, fine. Next, after that, workbook questions are covered concept number 1 to 12, and next lecture 4 workbook questions 13 to 16 are covered. So these two videos like 44 minute 37 second, and second video is 27 minute 36 second. So these two videos will be very helpful for your numerical point of view or numerical approaches concepts. Okay, fine. Next, chapter number 4, complex stress and strain are covered. So complex stress and strain is nothing but transformation of stress. So it is also called transformation. So this chapter is very important for both mechanical and civil aspirant. So transformation of stress and strain. So complex stress and strain is also called transformation of stress and strain. So this chapter is very important, because of this chapter are defined by these two approaches. First one is numerical approach and second one is graphical approach. Okay. Sorry. So lecture 1, plane stress and strain, that is covered in 15 minute 12 second. Second one is stress transformation concept, principal stresses, what is principal stresses, and what is the normal stresses will cover in 33 minute 35 second. Okay. Next important concept for design problem, maximum shear stress, Mohr circle, that and Mohr circle part 2. So this one is, these concepts are nothing but analytical approaches, and these two concepts are nothing but graphical approach. Mohr circle is nothing but graphical approaches to calculate the stresses at any angle theta. Okay. Okay, fine. Next one is important concept from Mohr circle part 1, part 2. Next, workbook questions 1 and 3, workbook question from 1 and 10. 1 and 3, that means lecture 1 to 3. These three concepts are covered in numericals part. And next, workbook question 4 to 10. 4 to 10, that means lecture number 4 and lecture number 10. So lecture 4 to 10. Lecture number 4 to 10 concepts are covered in numerical format. Okay. Next, workbook question 11, workbook questions 12 to 14, workbook questions 15 to 16, and plane strain transformation. That is, stress transformations concepts are covered, and after that, problems are also covered. After strain analysis, so plane strain analysis are covered in this chapter, means lecture number 15, plane strain transformation, and after that, workbook questions are covered. So all these concepts related to complex stress and strain, that is transformation of stress and stress, are covered in very good manners, and sequence wise all these concepts are covered. Okay. Next, chapter number 5th. So chapter number 5th is thin pressure vessel. Because of thick pressure vessel is not in GATE syllabus. Okay, clear that point. So thin pressure vessels are in GATE syllabus only. So that lecture 1, thin cylindrical pressure vessel, spherical pressure vessel and design of thin pressure vessel, strain in pressure vessel, and after that workbook question. So a small chapter, but this one is very very important for GATE examination. 1 or 2 marks questions are asking in every years in this chapter. Okay. Next, chapter number 6, shear force and bending moment diagram. So shear force and bending moment diagram is the basic or key point or key concept of strength of material, because deflection, slope and deflection of beam, torsion of shafts, shear stress distribution due to shear force, all these concepts are connected with these concepts, shear force and bending moment diagram. So this chapter is very very important for civil and mechanical engineering aspirants. What is shear force, what is bending moment, and how to draw SFD and BMD in different types of loading. All these concepts are covered in very good manners. So lecture 1 is beam and types of beam. Lecture 2 is nothing but types of load on a beam. Basics of centroids. Next, shear force and bending moment in beam. SFD BMD part 1, SFD BMD part 2. So many concepts are covered in this one, so that your concepts is clear in very good manners. Okay, very good. Okay, so lecture 13 workbook questions. Again, lecture 14 workbook questions and workbook questions. So what is the relation between loading rate, shear force, bending moment? What is the nature of SFD and BMD in different types of loadings? All these concepts are covered in sequence wise for part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5 and part 8. Clear that point? So this chapter is very very important for GATE examination and many more PSUs examination, numerical as well as theoretical portion. Next, bending. So bending of beam concepts are completely related to SFD and BMD. Slope and deflection of beam is also completely depends on SFD and BMD. Shear force and shear stress distribution are also connected with the SFD and BMD. So before starting the bending of beam, slope and deflection, shear stress distribution due to shear force, torsion of shafts, you can analyze the concept of SFD and BMD. So according to table of content, you can cover your concept step by step in minimum times. Clear that point? So next, chapter number 7, bending of beam. So in bending of beam, introduction part is given in 58 minutes 51 seconds. That is important point. What is the bending in pure bending condition? What is the assumption of bendings? All the are covered in these points. Next one is flexural formula. Flexural formula, we know that F by Y equals to M by I equals to E by R. What is the section modulus? Okay, what is the neutral axis? All these concepts are covered in 28 minutes 56 seconds in lecture 2. Lecture 3, design of beams. Next one is beam of uniform strength. So in beam of uniform strength, it means that this one is divided into two parts. If beam breadth is constant and if beam depth is constant. So what is the relation of depth with respect to the distance of the uniform or variation of bending stresses? Okay. 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 Next one is verbal question 1 to 7 and verbal question 8 to 10 are covered in last 2 points, lecture 5 and lecture 6. Okay. Next question, chapter number 8, transverse shear stress in beam. So transverse shear stress in beam is nothing but shear stress distribution due to shear force. Clear that point? So in this chapter, transverse shear stress part 1, part 2, part 3 and transverse shear stress in composite section and verbal questions are covered with optimum times. Next, chapter number 9. So chapter number 9 is very important for GATE examination for civil and mechanical aspirants. So chapter number 9, lecture 1, torsion equation, that is tau by r, t by j, g theta by l. Okay, so tau by r, t by j and g theta by l. What is the adsorption in pure torsion? All these concepts are covered in 59 minutes 21 seconds. Okay. Next, lecture 2, important concept related to torsion, and next lecture 3, torsion in shaft. Torsion in shaft is series or parallel conditions. Statically indeterminate shaft. Next one is verbo question, combined bending and torsion concept, equivalent bending and bending moment and torque, and last one is verbo questions. So according to GATE examination, this one is very important. Equivalent bending moment and torque. Equivalent bending moment, that means equivalent movement concept and equivalent torque concept, along with the maximum principal stress, minimum principal stress and maximum shear stress concept. Okay. Okay, fine. So this chapter is very important for GATE and other PSU's examination. Okay. Next, chapter number 10, deflection of beam or slope and deflection of beam. Okay, so lecture 1, governing equation of elastic curve. Next one is method of calculating deflection on slope. Next one is deflection of beam, Macaulay method. So different types of methods. So how to calculate slope and deflection of beam will be covered. So in GATE examination every years in these chapters 1 to 2 questions are asked, slope and deflection of beams. So don't miss this chapter. Okay, so Macaulay method, moment area method, conjugate beam method. Example of conjugate beam method, strain energy of beam, Castiglione's theorem. So Castiglione's theorem, strain energy, that is very important for GATE examination. So Castiglione's theorem, that is strain energy method to calculate slope and deflection of beam. Okay, so this theorem or this strain energy method is used for arc, semi-arc condition, structural member, okay, and so on types of members. Okay, next one is verbo questions. So verbo questions are divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. Next one is reciprocal theorem, and last one is verbo question 20 to 22. So all these concepts are arranged according to GATE examination and numerical as well as numerical point of view. This one is very important, slope and deflection of beam. Okay, next one is chapter number 11, theory of column. So theory of column, that means types of column, long column, short column and intermediate column. Rankine theory, Euler's theory. Euler's theory is very important for GATE examination. So theory of column part 1, part 2 and part 3, and it's not subjected to eccentric loading. So core concepts are also covered in this chapter. So this chapter is also very important for GATE and other PSU's examination. Next, chapter 12, shear center. So next one is shear center. So what is shear center? Or where transverse load is acting on any of the cross section. All these concepts are covered in 23 minutes 59 seconds. And last verbo question, that is 4 minutes 27 seconds. So all these concepts are covered in very good manners for GATE and other competitive examination for both civil and mechanical aspirants. So hopefully you can understand all these topics related with these times. So if you are confused in any of these topics, any of these chapters, then you can go and easily watch this video and clear your concept. And after watching the video, you can solve workbook problems and other test series problems so that you can clear your fundamental concepts. Okay, so hopefully you can understand all these topics. Okay, so thank you so much everyone.